Former Eagle Scout will spend the rest of his life in prison after being convicted of running a counterfeit opioid operation that made him millions of dollars and left dozens of people dead.
The impact of their work, the millions and millions of dollars that they reaped, and the tens of thousands of customers, perhaps, that they serviced, that is very large scale.
In the shadowy depths of the internet, a young man named Aaron Shamo rose to infamy as the mastermind behind a drug trafficking organization that shook the nation. He was known as the Pharma Master for his role in a drug trafficking organization that operated on the dark web. Aaron was just a regular guy until he discovered the lucrative world of selling drugs online. With his computer skills and friends, he quickly rose to the top of the illegal drug trade, and instead of following the usual path, Shamo built a vast empire, trafficking fentanyl, a powerful opioid, and earning over $100,000 every day. His story is wild and surprising. He went from being a regular guy to running a big drug business that changed the way people saw online crime. A story full of bold moves and sneaky tricks. So, make sure to watch it until the end. Aaron Shamo, a 26-year-old college dropout and former Eagle Scout who lived in the quiet neighborhoods of suburban Salt Lake City. Shamo spent his early years in Phoenix with his 3 older sisters. During his teenage years, he began using marijuana and stopped attending services at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Concerned about his behavior, Shamo's parents made a pivotal decision to send him to a boarding school in Utah, hoping for a positive change. Despite the challenges, he managed to achieve the esteemed rank of Eagle Scout during his time there, a testament to his resilience and determination. But something unexpected happened. Aaron met Drew Crandall at the boarding school. They both loved longboarding, and that brought them together. Little did they know this chance meeting would change everything for them. After a while, they ended up as roommates. Crandall was quiet and shy, while Shamo was outgoing and confident. Shamo always helped Crandall feel more comfortable around people, especially when it came to talking to girls. Shamo used to be short-tempered, but things changed, and he became much calmer. College wasn't his thing. He preferred being outdoors to sitting in class. Eventually, his parents cut off funding for his education. Within a short span of 2 years, Aaron Shamo faced difficulties with his coursework. Instead of focusing on his studies, he found himself drawn to partying and exploring the realm of Bitcoin mining. In a shocking turn of events, Shamo made the bold decision to drop out of college and join eBay alongside his friend Crandall. However, when Crandall unexpectedly lost his job, Shamo was outraged by the injustice and chose to resign in solidarity with his friend. Aaron Shamo had big dreams of becoming a successful entrepreneur. He admired icons like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, drawing inspiration from their journeys. To learn more about achieving success, he turned to books like Think and Grow Rich for guidance. Shamo was worried about how he would gather money, so Crandall gave him the idea to start their own business. Little did they know, this seemingly innocent suggestion would lead them down a path fraught with unexpected challenges and dark revelations. Together, they ventured into the underworld of illegal online business, shocking those around them. But how? Their decision to enter the illegal drug trade was shocking. Driven by a fascination with Bitcoin, Shamo and Crandall delved deeper into the dark web, where their actions were kept secret. In 2014, Shamo and Crandall bought latex gloves, postage supplies, bubble wrap, and gelatin capsules to start making illegal pills. Shamo's next step in his risky journey was bold and dangerous. He decided to manufacture counterfeit oxycodone pills using fentanyl imported all the way from China. Then, they began selling more dangerous substances like MDMA, cocaine, and Date R*P drugs. Their business grew as they expanded their inventory and reached more customers on the internet. In a shocking turn of events, Pharma Master's inventory expanded to include a wide range of drugs, from Valium and Xanax to oxycodone, even extending to Viagra and fentanyl powder. With the help of a pill press, he transformed the fentanyl into fake oxycodone pills, which he then sold in large quantities. They used the dark web to sell all these drugs, where Shamo worked under the name Pharma Master on Alphabay, which is a large online marketplace. Thus, Shamo earned the nickname Farm Master. Shamo took on the role of the founder and CEO at Pharma Master, controlling the majority of its operations. He established the dark web storefront, managed employee recruitment, oversaw marketing strategies, and determined product distribution channels. Essentially, he operated as the primary supplier for both individual buyers and other drug dealers within the dark web network. His online platform, Pharma Master, thrived as he recruited individuals to act as runners, responsible for collecting and mailing the packages across the country. Shamo became very rich during this time, and people mostly thought it was because of Bitcoin, but only a few knew exactly how Bitcoin worked, so they didn't ask too many questions. As they expanded their operations, the seriousness of their actions grew. People didn't know about the dangerous world hidden behind their normal lives. Behind closed doors, Shamo and Crandall were building a network of crime. By the end of his initial dealings, Shamo's profits had nearly reached $3 million. Through his dark web platform, Pharma Master, he was selling thousands of fake opioid pills. However, as demand increased, the quality of his pills dropped. Reviews showed a dangerous trend. Customers were overdosing and falling ill. Despite this alarming feedback, Shamo kept going. Pharma Master was making an astonishing $100,000 every single day, despite the rising number of people suffering from overdoses. With his newfound wealth, he spared no expense. He bought a fancy house and a new BMW, and enjoyed extravagant trips to Las Vegas and luxurious vacations in first class. But while he lived in luxury, many people were hurt by the drugs he sold. Families were broken, and people died because of the pills he sold. Each day, his business made more money, but behind it all were sad stories of people suffering and dying because of his drugs. Despite all this, Shamo didn't seem to care about the pain he caused. His comfortable life was built on the suffering of others, and he didn't see the harm he was doing. The question is, where exactly were these drugs produced? In a shocking turn of events, he set up a pill press in his basement to manufacture drugs, relying on YouTube tutorials to learn how to produce counterfeit OxyContin and Xanax. The basement was turned from a normal space into a secret drug lab. The noise of the pill-making machine filled the air, adding to the tense atmosphere. It was no longer just a place for storing things or hanging out. It had become a center for shady activities. Isn't that shocking? He constructed a multi-million-dollar opioid ring and ran what he referred to as his empire from a basement in suburban Utah, relying on just a few friends, internet access, and a mailbox. The sheer audacity and scale of his operation left many in shock. The shocking process involves mixing powdered binders and fillers with deadly fentanyl, a potent opioid. This potent substance, notorious for its potency, poses significant risks to anyone who comes into contact with it. With bare hands, they blended the lethal concoction and added coloring agents to replicate legitimate pills, such as the distinct blue hue of oxys. The lethal mixture was then loaded into a pill press, where it was molded into counterfeit pills and stamped with fake markings. These deceptive replicas were designed to fool consumers into believing they were purchasing legitimate medication, but in reality, they were receiving deadly drugs. Shamo's enterprise boomed to the extent that he recruited his gym friend, Jonathan Luke Paz, to handle the daunting task of mixing and pressing thousands of oxytocin pills weekly. Additionally, he employed two more close friends, Alexandria Marie Tong and Catherine Lauren Ann Bustin, to manage order fulfillment, meticulously packaging drugs in vacuum-sealed Mylar bags and dispatching them via encrypted mail. Shamo brought his friend Sean Gigi on board to further streamline operations as a runner, tasked with collecting packed orders from different mailboxes across Salt Lake City 5 days a week. Shamo didn't know that his bad time was about to come. His downfall began unexpectedly with a routine inspection by government authorities. In June 2016, amidst the routine screening of packages for illicit goods at an international mail facility, United States Customs and Border Protection made a shocking discovery. A package from China containing fentanyl was addressed to Ryan Jensen in Midvale, Utah. Months later, on November 1st, law enforcement agents interviewed Jensen. His revelations were nothing short of shocking. Jensen disclosed that the defendant had hired him for a dubious scheme. Packages from China would arrive at his doorstep, and he would dutifully deliver them unopened to the defendant. So things took another shocking turn. Later in November, vigilant for any suspicious activity, law enforcement came across another unexpected find. United States Drug Enforcement Agency, DEA, agents seized a package. Inside, they discovered alprazolam, a Schedule IV controlled substance crucial in making Xanax. The package was addressed to Sean Gigi, another resident of Midvale. Following this, the agents intercepted another package containing fentanyl addressed to Gigi. Gigi's home was then thoroughly searched, and DEA agents subsequently spoke with him. Eventually, Gigi agreed to cooperate with the investigation. Gigi disclosed that the defendant had been paying him to collect packages locally and transport them to different post offices for shipping. Following the DEA agent's request, he proceeded with his routine pickups, including visits to Alexandria Tongja's and Catherine Bustin's residences. These individuals were involved in receiving drug orders and processing pills from the defendant for shipment. Gigi also admitted that he was involved, saying Shamo paid him to handle local packages. He unknowingly delivered parcels with Xanax and oxycodone from Tong and Bustin's home. He told investigators that he worked full-time for Shamo. He said that not only was he accepting packages for Shamo in the mail, but for the last several months he had hired him to be a daily employee. Gigi asked investigators to follow him. The agents followed him as he picked up 79 packages from the shipper's doorstep to mail to Pharma master customers. This time, he didn't drop them in the post boxes. Instead, he drove with the agents immediately to a local police station where they could set them out on tables and start to go through them. As they opened the boxes, they found 10,000 fentanyl pills in one box and 20,000 pills in another. The discovery underscored the grave consequences of his criminal enterprise, exposing the extent of the danger posed to countless individuals across the country. This alarming finding further emphasized the urgent need to dismantle such illicit networks and prevent the distribution of harmful substances that threaten the lives of communities. The large number of pills highlighted the serious impact of Shamo's crimes on society. In a shocking turn of events, on November 22nd, law enforcement agents executed search warrants at both the Tong Bustin and the defendant's residences. It was a moment of shock when the reality dawned that the consequences of wrongdoing always carried heavy penalties. On the fateful morning of November 22nd, 2016, federal agents from the Drug Enforcement Agency launched a sudden raid on Aaron Shamo's residence in Cottonwood Heights, precisely at 10 a.m. Can you believe it? The oxycodone pills were so deadly that federal drug agents had to gear up in hazmat suits and even scuba tanks just to enter his place in Cottonwood. Shamo, a 26-year-old criminal, was playing the video game Battlefield 1 in his basement with full concentration and enjoyment. Little did he know that outside his home, a SWAT team was getting ready to break in. When the SWAT team entered his house, they arrested him immediately. He was surprised, and he couldn't do anything to stop them. The investigators also discovered a pill press machine, a substantial sum of $1.2 million in cash, and a significant quantity of powdered fentanyl during the operation. Following the discovery, authorities took away 513 bitcoins from Shamo's online wallet. They said it was worth about $2.4 million. The digital currency added a layer of complexity to the case, underscoring the depth of Shamo's illicit activities in the virtual realm. Following these findings, other people who worked with Shamo were also arrested. This chain of events shocked many, revealing the extent of Shamo's illegal operations and its impact on others involved. Agents executed a search warrant across town at the apartment of Alexandria Tong and Catherine Bustin. During the search, authorities found evidence linking Tong and Bustin to Shamo's operation. They were reportedly involved in packaging pills and facilitating the distribution process. Meanwhile, Drew Crandall, a friend and former partner of Shamo, discovered the arrest while overseas. He promptly shut down the Pharma Master store on Alpha Bay, though investigators had already obtained the necessary evidence from another associate, Mario Noble. Noble, aged 24, assisted agents by providing screenshots to preserve online evidence. 6 months later, when Crandall arrived in Hawaii for his wedding, he was arrested by the authorities. Other associates were also apprehended and agreed to cooperate with the authorities. So the trial started. Shamo, 26 years old and a former Eagle Scout, faced trial. On August 30th, 2019, a federal jury in Salt Lake City found Aaron Shamo guilty of leading a scheme to sell fake oxycodone and Xanax containing fentanyl on the dark web. The jury's verdict left many in shock, as Shamo faced a 13-count indictment, including perpetuating a criminal enterprise, importing controlled substances, possessing controlled substances with intent to distribute, manufacturing controlled substances, adulterating drugs for sale, using the U.S. mail for drug trafficking, and engaging in money laundering, among other charges. The jury found Shamo guilty of 12 out of the 13 charges mentioned in the indictment. However, they were unable to reach a unanimous decision regarding Shamo's responsibility for the death of a 21-year-old man in California. The man overdosed on fentanyl contained in a counterfeit oxycodone pill. When given the chance to address the court, Shamo stated, "As I look back, I can't believe I did what I did." During the trial, Shamo asserted that he believed he was assisting individuals in need of the drugs, while also generating profits for himself and his associates. Court documents revealed that over $1 million was found in his dresser. Due to the guilty verdict, Shamo faced a life sentence in prison. The Super Kingpin rule mandates a minimum life sentence for engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise, especially if it involves significant drug trafficking and the defendant is the leader. Shamo won't be able to seek parole. His sentencing was scheduled for December 3rd, and his lawyer, Greg Skordas, mentioned that Shamo plans to appeal the conviction. "He's 29, and his life is over," said defense attorney Greg Skordas. Defense attorneys did not dispute that Shamo was involved in drug sales. However, they contended that a life sentence was overly severe for a first-time offender who collaborated with others. Greg Skordas' attorney portrayed Shamo as a people pleaser who relied on a few essential friends to assemble the operation. It's anticipated that several of these associates will receive lenient sentences after reaching plea agreements and providing testimony against him. Shocking revelations emerged as prosecutors disclosed that a minimum of 90 individuals lost their lives after consuming drugs bought from Shamo's website, as stated in the release. The exact total remains uncertain because investigators were unable to locate every distributor who bought pills in large quantities and subsequently resold them. During Shamo's trial, a lawyer named Vernon Stayskull called Shamo a profiteer, which means someone who only cares about making money. Stayskull said Shamo made lots of money while hurting people who were addicted to drugs. He said Shamo lived a fancy life while others suffered. The statement underscored the disparity between Shamo's prosperity and the hardships faced by individuals battling addiction. It shed light on the moral implications of profiting from others' suffering and emphasized the need for accountability. According to trial evidence, Shamo characterized himself as a white-collar drug dealer and boosted his confidence with affirmations like, "I am awesome," as he expanded the operation. Shamo wasn't the only one who faced punishment. His accomplices were also held accountable. Each of Shamo's 8 co-defendants received reduced sentences from United States District Judge Dale Kimball for their roles in the operation. They reached agreements with prosecutors, acknowledging their involvement in crimes like money laundering conspiracy, trafficking drugs through the mail, and distributing fentanyl and alprazolam, Xanax. Drew Wilson Crandall, aged 35 from Draper, received a 4.5-year federal prison term for his role in managing Shamo's enterprise. In 2018, Crandall confessed to being involved in importing and distributing substances with Shamo from the dark web store Pharma Master. He was identified as Shamo's second-in-command. Crandall confessed to blending powders in mason jars and employing pill presses. During his testimony against Shamo, he disclosed that their operation had humble beginnings when they were roommates, with Shamo proposing the sale of Adderall to help Crandall repay his student loans. In 2015, Crandall sold his portion of the business to Shamo for $40,000 and moved to New Zealand. Later on, he decided to work with Shamo again, taking care of customer service duties. Alexandria Marie Tong, aged 29, and Catherine Lauren Ann Buston, aged 31, from South Jordan, received 3-year prison sentences each. They admitted to receiving compensation for handling the shipping and receiving of packages containing illicit drugs on behalf of Shamo and Crandall. Furthermore, they acknowledged using their Bitcoin accounts to cover expenses related to drug trafficking. Anna Gabby Noriega, aged 30, from West Jordan, was placed on probation for 3 years after confessing to purchasing supplies with money she knew originated from drug sales. Mario Anthony Noble, aged 32, from Midvale, received a 30-month prison sentence for admitting his involvement as the backbone of Shamo's dark web store. He was responsible for handling customers' mailing addresses. Sean Michael Gigi, aged 31, from Midvale, confessed to the role of a runner, receiving packages of narcotics from China and then delivering them to various post offices across the Salt Lake Valley. Consequently, he received a 2-year federal prison sentence. In June, Christopher Sean Kenny, aged 46, from Midvale, received a 10-year prison sentence. He bought a Ford F-150 in August 2016, using money earned from selling narcotics for Shamo. Prosecutors alleged he earned $1 per pill sold. Kenny confessed to acting as a middleman, assisting Shamo in distributing the fentanyl-laced products. In the end, everyone received the punishment for their wrongdoings. In this case, there were many other discoveries as well. The case against Shamo uncovered something horrifying. A powerful white powder, way stronger than morphine, was bought from China online and sent to Utah through the mail. Pharma Master reportedly emerged as a major player in the darknet realm, processing between 20 to 50 orders per day, as outlined in court documents. In Shamo's basement, they turned it into fake oxycodone pills using a machine. These fake pills were sold on the dark web and then sent back through the mail to thousands of homes across the country. It's shocking how this has worsened the problem of people getting addicted to prescription painkillers. In a shocking revelation, prosecutors disclosed that when orders arrived, packagers meticulously counted pills, sealed them using a vacuum sealer, and discreetly placed them into envelopes or boxes destined for homes across the United States. To further conceal the illicit contents, they stored pills in mylar bags, crafted counterfeit return addresses, such as Jamaica Green Coffee, and even inserted fake invoices. Authorities unveiled that these packages were secretly deposited in mailboxes scattered throughout the Salt Lake area, all in an effort to evade detection by law enforcement. As per prosecutors, while some orders were small for personal use, the group also sent thousands of pills in bulk to gang members and drug dealers. These individuals then sold the pills on the streets. This revelation shocked the authorities, highlighting the extent of the operation's reach and its impact on the community. Due to Shamo's illegal drugs, many people lost their lives. However, even as Shamo enjoyed a life of luxury, some of his customers were losing their lives. As Shamo's operation expanded, so too did the human cost of his crimes. Each pill Shamo sold led to more tragedy, affecting many lives and causing immense pain. Despite the destruction he caused, Shamo remained undeterred, driven by greed and indifference to the suffering of others. A mother's heartache tells a story of deception and danger. Tova Keblish's son Gavin, seeking relief after leg surgery, turned to what he thought were painkillers sold online. Little did he know, those pills were not what they seemed. They were fake, made in a basement by Aaron Shamo, who ran a big drug business using only a computer and some friends. These pills contained something called fentanyl, a drug that can be deadly even in small amounts. Gavin Keblish, a resident of Long Island, New York, tragically passed away shortly after purchasing these pills. His family remembers him fondly for his warm hugs and laughter, a loss deeply felt by those who knew him, as testified by his mother. Keblish shared that her 23-year-old son had graduated from Albany University and was employed as a counselor for children in foster care at the time of his death. She emphasized that his injury left him susceptible to individuals like Shamo, whom she described as a predator. Gavin Keblish, she explained, believed he was purchasing oxycodone, but tragically received a lethal dose of fentanyl instead. Tova Keblish's son was not alone. Many people like him trusted these pills to help with their pain, but the truth was hidden. Aaron Shamo, a young man from the area, was behind the scenes, making a lot of money by selling these fake pills. He didn't care about the people who took them or the pain they caused. What makes these pills so dangerous is the fentanyl inside them. It's a strong drug, and even a tiny bit can be deadly. People who bought these pills, thinking they were safe, were actually risking their lives every time they took one. The verdict deeply affected Tova Keblish, who traveled from Long Island, New York, to attend the trial. She shared the heartbreaking story of her son Gavin Keblish, who tragically passed away after purchasing counterfeit oxycodone filled with fentanyl following his surgery. She said, "There's never any closure, ever. It's going to be something that's part of our lives every day." Tova's appearance in court highlighted the suffering of numerous individuals impacted by the opioid crisis. Her story highlighted the devastating impact of addiction and the quest for justice to ease the anguish of those left behind. Aaron Shamo's story is a warning about the dangers of greed and bad choices. From being an Eagle Scout to running a drug empire, his life took a dark turn. His actions hurt many people and showed how addiction can destroy lives. As he faced the consequences, it's a reminder of how important it is to make good choices and stay away from trouble. Shamo's downfall teaches us that doing the right thing is always better in the end, and that even small actions can have big consequences. That's all for now. We hope you enjoyed watching this video. Remember to click the like button and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth stories like this. See you in the next one.